Okay. So for those of you interested in internet thingers, there is at sadgirl.online an interesting manifesto. I haven't quite read this part, but I there is another addition to it or an errata for it that kind of further fleshes out some of the ideas in it. But yeah, and I will get to that. But this is kind of the first part. So it's surprising how many people equate the internet with social media. It's like having access to a million times the Library of Alexandria every day and only being interested in keeping up with what people are talking about in the lobby. Jenny Odell, author of How to Do Nothing, says it best. The villain here is not necessarily the internet or even the idea of social media. It is the invasive logic of commercial social media and its financial incentive to keep us in a profitable state of anxiety, envy, and distraction. It is furthermore the cult of individuality and personal branding that grow out of such platforms and affect the way we think about our offline selves and the places where we actually live. So, in a lot of ways, yes, the modern world focuses, the normies focus so much on who they are when it comes to their social media feeds and their social media statistics that it ends up leaking out into real life. And so they see the facade that people post onto social media and they want to have that life, or they get depressed because they don't have that life, and so on. So that leads into what the internet has become: a marketplace where our data is stolen, sold, and profited off of, a nonstop barrage of advertisements, a one sided social experience, a capitalist hellscape because it has been dominated by corporations. So, this part here is interesting because, yes, it is in many ways, a capitalist hellscape. I would more argue it's more of a corporatist hellscape because you see a select few big corporations that have, in essence, buddied with the government in order to continue to have certain privileges that maybe other smaller companies that could do it better don't enjoy. And so they end up being protected by the government r- rather than having to actually truly compete. And in a lot of ways, they end up using their large capital to lock in on the people that don't want to change and move because of the familiarity aspect of everything, even though these companies continue to change their sites, the people don't want to change where they're going to, even though it would be better because, oh, I'm already here, I'm already established. They, when the cheese moves, when the good cheese moves, they sit here and eat the rotting cheese that continues to blight their experience. The internet ought to be a space for human expression and connection, provide access to information for free, be respected as real space where we interact with real humans. So, in many cases, this is what we forget. So, there are certain places where, as real humans in person, we would joke around, we'd razz each other, and which could be considered harassing each other in a friendly, prodding way. And that is where the internet can really shine, is when we interact with each other in such a way, whether it be in our IRC chats, our Discord chats, or even in our Halo 3 games. We can have fun with each other, but also continue to interact in a professional way where the situation suits. And then one of the big things that I like is providing access to information for free. There's so much information we can access for free, and a lot of people want to lock it behind paywalls. And there are certain cases where I can see if you're providing certain services that you can lock it behind a paywall. If you really provide something of value, I've seen people that have really provided things of value that have it open and free, that people will pay them money voluntarily because it was something that they valued and was valuable to them. So when you keep that in mind, that do I provide something valuable to other people? And if I provide it for free, will they, if I ask for them to give of their free will based on the information that I've given them to add a value to the information that they've received, do I get that value back, or am I just adding value into people's lives? Or what other ways can I receive that value back so that in a sense I get compensated for it? Or, you know, what goes around comes around. So as you give it out for free, maybe you get other things for free as it comes around. Let's see, I openly oppose paywalled educational content and news. Again, there's a lot of free information out there. And you can find plenty of people that are willing to give you free information to be successful, even on YouTube, for free without having to pay for it. And that's where you get certain content that may come behind a paywall that is exclusive, or certain like fun things that is a big thank you to the people that support that content. Necessity for anyone to become a brand. So in a lot of ways, people become their own brand. As you become an influencer, you build up your brand, and then you become the face of your brand. But you see things in the past, like with the King of Random, for example, where Grant Thompson moved his face out of the way and he allowed for more people to move in. After his passing, of course, it seemed to like go downhill from there. Social algorithms built and used for profit. Now, I would argue that if you are building the algorithms in such a way that those that really excel can profit, rather than like deciding on who gets to profit and making choices and shadow banning certain people, if you build the algorithms to be sharing based on merit of whatever they're posting or the information, then I can see how that can be beneficial in providing a profit motive also providing a profit motive to, along with that algorithm, to share the profits between those that merit it and the creator of said algorithm. Senseless online arguments / hate is a byproduct of online interaction and the algorithms. Again, most social media algorithms are built to do this, to build arguments, to build division, and that's why we have the world we have today. Being forced into the role of consumer in online spaces. So you're always consuming content. And in that consumption of content, you are being served ads to consume, so that you will go and buy new product and so on. So there's critique of the modern web for more of a breakdown. We, the people of the internet, have the power to transform it. The goal is not to go backwards, but to forge a new path forward. What is the personal web? Personal web refers to spaces on the internet that are created and maintained by real people. These spaces do not advertise commercial products or turn a profit. Personal web isn't a reboot or a revival. It's been here all along, overshadowed by fast-paced modern platforms. Movement is about making the internet into a satisfying, expressive, and creative social space. It's about having a space of one's own that isn't dictated by arbitrary limitations of the platform. I think in a lot of ways I have built my web page to be kind of like pushing content, but yeah, that's a whole other thing. I've been looking at different ways to revamp it, but I haven't quite gotten around to doing that. But yeah, I'm looking at Hugo and taking my same design and just flipping it over so that it can be used otherwise. How you can participate, learn, and teach others how to surf the web. So we couldn't go into these otherwise. Engage in good faith discussions online whenever possible. So this is a big one. You see a lot of people that get into debates, and I've been argued as being bad faith in a couple different situations. And even in my YouTube comments, I've gone in and like, hey, you've made this statement, an accusation, and if you would please enumerate what your accusation is founded on, then we can talk about like parsing it and figuring out, okay, I can see your point here. Here was my intention. And that's kind of the good faith discussions that are aimed for, so that we can clear things up, and maybe if something was said in a video, it could be clarified otherwise. Stop, reduce activity on and or work toward the developing a healthier relationship with your digital self, and tell your friends to do the same. So you stop and reduce the social media scroll addiction. And there are a lot of places where I have basically gotten bored of the feeds that I'm watching. So when I go into GrayJ, for example, which has Odyssey, Rumble, and YouTube all in one place, I can sit here and go, okay, I refresh it, nothing looks interesting today or right now, and so I'm just going to move on and do something else. And so it kind of creates almost a discipline within itself, because I'm not constantly bombarded by the recommended page on the homepage. Then when I get on my computer, I constantly find that, again, I'm getting bored of, like, nothing interests me on the recommended page, because probably YouTube doesn't get all of my watch data. But you can create that more balanced self so that you're going outside and doing more things and working on more productive things. See, speak out on social media about the harms of using those platforms and promote alternative habits. So I'm really bad about speaking out about it. But when it comes to my posting habits, it's not really that much. The place that I am more active on, like in an interacting sense, is Pleroma, the Fediverse, where it's like, okay, I'm responding to different things here and there. And then sometimes I'll check Gab and respond to comments to post of video stuff. But other than that, for the most part, I don't do a lot of like interaction on Twitter or X, and especially Facebook. So yeah, if there's anything that I'm interacting with, a lot of times it may be like live chats like Discord, or heaven forbid Messenger, because that's where I've got family there. Create your own space on the web and convince your friends to do the same. So obviously, I've got this. In fact, I've got spaces on a bunch of websites too, but got my own space that I, in essence, pay for hosting for. Socialize and collaborate with other webmasters and artists. I guess in a sense, there are a lot of people in my Fedi timeline that run their own instances and their own websites. But I could probably, there could be some better collaboration and work and interaction. Write your own manifesto. This is where we get into weird territory, especially with events over the last few years and manifestos. But yeah, most of all, never stop creating and make connections on the internet. We will never give up. So then there's like community manifestos. I found a touching manifesto on a defunct website from 99 when I experienced frustration with my computers have changed so many things in our lives and in the world. There have been friendships, marriages, divorces, business, jobs, viruses, hackers, Y2K, webaholics like me and others, and things most of us don't even know about. It has took over many a life. There are great things, good things, and bad things that have come out of computers. I enjoy and love my computer. It can make us mad, and it can make us glad. We really never know who's on the keyboard. Not really. They can be anyone they want to be. It has helped many lonely people. It just amazes me what the computer has done to the world. People that don't have one ask people that don't have one ask me, what do you do on the computer so much? To me, it's kind of like artwork. I love building web pages, and there are so many talented people in the world, and it's worldwide. I've communicated with countries worldwide, and we have translators to help us To me, a computer can scare you to death if you listen to all the stories you hear. That was the very reason I waited as long as I did to get one, and thank God I had a good teacher. They can be so complicated if you don't have a good teacher, but they are also kind of self-teaching. And I found out there are more good people than there are bad. They may have made a lot of changes in the world, but I am proud I have one. And I feel I have helped spread the word of our Lord. I almost go into depression if I can't get on the internet and surf and all the other things we do. So enjoy your computer. And all your new friends, try a little kindness, sign our guest books, and believe as I do, there are more good people than there are bad. God bless and be with you all. Be with all of you always. So let's keep the good going and keep each other to weed out the bad. And as they say in computer talk, hugs and kisses to all my new friends. That's interesting. So where is it? So you've got elements of computer habit forming things. So we really never know who's on the keyboard. So this is true. We don't know who's on the other keyboard that we're communicating with. And I think in some respects, that's what is going on here, is the fact we don't know what's going on, and that's why we want to be in good faith discussions. That's why we also want to develop healthier relationships with our digital life and promoting better habits. But you don't really know who it is. Some people say, oh, this is dominated by white people, or this is dominated by like minorities, when you really can't see the person on the other, at the other computer who you're communicating with. And so when you take that into account, it's like, okay, I don't know who you are, but we can still talk about something valuable and still have a good faith conversation online. But yeah, so that is a manifesto to the internet manifesto. And I'll probably go into the, in essence, errata to it in another video. If you enjoyed the video, then like, comment, subscribe, feed the algorithm, boost the video up, share this video with your friends. If you found it informative or you just want to chat, I've got plenty of places in the description, Discord, Guilded, and what have you. Check those out, and I will see you guys in the next one.